Now we are going to start with the compound that is silicon dioxide. So what is the chemical formula? It is SiO2. It is SiO2. And you know that what is the common name? Like the chemical name is silicon dioxide, but the common name it is being called as silica. It is called as silica. And we have discussed that how we can actually form SiO2. Again I am telling you that we can actually have SiO2 by carrying out the hydrolysis of silicon tetrachloride. That means you need to add water, and you are adding water and the conditions required is very high temperature. That means you need to heat it at very high temperature in presence of oxygen hydrogen flame, and what you get ultra pure silicon. Silica, you get ultra pure silica. So this is how you can prepare the the ultra pure silica. Now if you look for the structure, then we will see that the structure is a three-dimensional network where each silicon is surrounded by 4 oxygen. Where each silicon is surrounded by 4 oxygen. So the structure is actually like this, as you can see. Right, so it is being arranged in this manner where you can see that 4 oxygen is surrounding the silicon, and moreover it is giving rise to a 3-dimensional network, and moreover it is a giant molecule. It is a giant molecule which comprises of this repetition of SiO2 in a 3 dimension. So this is what is a structure. So what we have seen is, we have seen that here in SiO2, Si bond, this silicon oxygen bond is very strong. The silicon oxygen bond is very strong, due to which it do not react with any metal, it do not react with any acid, or you can say it does not react with any halogen even. So that means due to the strong bonding between Si and O, the reactions which are generally seen are very less, almost nil. But however, it react with fluorine and HF. Otherwise, it won't react with any of the metal, acid or halogen. But there is an exception that silicon, silica reacts with F2 and HF. And what happened when SiO2 react with fluorine? It gives rise to silicon tetrafluoride. It gives rise to silicon tetrafluoride. And moreover, when SiO2 react with HF, then also it gives rise to silicon tetrafluoride. Right, so that means the reaction is seen with the fluorine and HF, but otherwise the reaction is not seen with any metal, any acid or any halogen. So this is an exception. This you can say is an exception that SiO2 react with F2 as well as HF. And you know that there is a question which is often asked based on this reaction, is that why hydrogen fluoride can't be stored in glass container? Why hydrogen fluoride can't be stored in a glass container? The reason is that so now as you know that an important question, that why HF can't be stored in a glass container. Actually what happened, we know that the glass actually contains silicon dioxide. So it is one of the constituent of the glass. So what happened, when you store HF in SiO2, then what happens? Like we have a glass constituent SiO2 and we are storing the chemical HF. So what happened when we store them, they combine with each other, giving rise to a silicon fluoride. And you know that the reaction doesn't stop at this place. Then what happened? This silicon fluoride further reacts with HF, right? Silicon fluoride further reacts with the HF, giving rise to H2SiF6, which is actually called as hydrofluorosilicic acid. So that means actually it dissolves the glass. As you can see that it contains silicon dioxide. So when HF is stored, it combines to form silicon fluoride, and further the reaction continues with HF, and finally the hydrofluorosilicic acid is formed. So that means the glass actually dissolves in HF. Glass actually dissolves in HF. So obviously it is not suitable to store HF in glass because it will dissolve the glass. So rather than storing in a glass container, we actually prefer to store them in a copper container or some other metal container, because the reaction doesn't occur with that. It is inert towards metals, acids, halogens we have seen. So that means definitely we cannot store HF in a glass container. And what is the reason? You are familiar with it. Now you know that there are certain kind of forms of the silicon dioxide, and the main forms are quartz, right, cristobalite, tridymite. So these are the common forms, you can say that, of the silica, and these forms are actually interconvertible at different temperatures. These forms are interconvertible, and you know that there is an important use of quartz, that where the quartz is being used, it is the quartz is actually the form of silica that is actually being used in making you can say the exact clocks, accurate clocks. It is used in making the accurate clocks. It is used in the mobile radio communication, right, and the television communication. So that means it is being used in you can say different fields, and it is actually you can say serving as an important use. So this is where the form quartz is being used. And you know that the amorphous form of silica is the silica gel. The amorphous form of silica is the silica gel, and we have already discussed that silica gel is actually SiO2.XH2O, and where it is being used, it is used as a catalyst in petroleum industry, and moreover it is being used in the column chromatography also. So that means this is the important use of the amorphous form of the silica, that is the silica gel. I think you got it, that silicon dioxide is SiO2, common name is silica, the structure is this kind, the bond is quite strong, therefore it doesn't react with metal, acid or halogen, but the exceptions are always there. So it combines with F2 and HF, and there is a reason that we cannot store chemical HF in SiO2, because due to this reaction only, it leads to the formation of H2SiF6, that is hydrofluorosilicic acid. That means it dissolves, it has the power to dissolve the glass. So obviously the glass containers are not suitable. Rather than that, we store in metal containers, and moreover the different forms of the silica is these are the crystalline forms, that is the quartz, cristobalite and tridymite, and these forms are actually interconvertible. And quartz is actually serving an important use. It is used in making the accurate clocks in mobile radio communication and the television communication also, and moreover its amorphous form is the silica gel, which is SiO2.XH2O, and we have discussed that how we can actually form the amorphous form, that is the silica gel, how we can form. And as far as its uses are concerned, we know that it is being used as a catalyst in the petroleum industry, and moreover it is used as an absorbent in the column chromatography. So this is all about the silicon dioxide.